How you doing, YouTubers? This is Alfred, the Central Texas Cruiser, coming at you with another one of my cruising videos. Today I'm going to be cruising the historic Backenridge Park here in San Antonio, Texas. It's located about a few miles from downtown area, from downtown San Antonio. And right now I'm standing right here next to my buddy here, Tyrannosaurus Rex. He's right in front of the Whitty Museum, which is over there. Has a beautiful garden all the way around it. You guys need to come down here and check out the Whitty Museum and Backenridge Park. Well, grab yourself a cold one because it's around 95 degrees right now in San Antonio. We've had some massive flooding all the way around the state of Texas. And yeah, so grab yourself a cold one and hope you enjoy this cruise today. I'm going to try to go as much as I can around the whole park and let you know some of the main features in the park. All right, let's get started. That street right there you're looking at is Broadway. That's Smoke Shack. It's located right on Pershing and Broadway. It's a very famous barbecue place. So those of you that like barbecue, come on, check it out. They got other menus there. So it's very famous down here in San Antonio. So come on by. It's Sunday here in San Antonio today. There should be a lot of picnickers down here, but don't really know because we've had some massive flooding down here. It got rained all around Texas, and some places got heavily flooded. Oh, here's the little train here on the left-hand side here. It's a famous little train that we have here in San Antonio. They got a place where you can get on that train on the other side of the park here. I don't know exactly how much they charge, but I want to say it's somewhere in the $7 range to $10 range. I think this park is around close to 400 acres of land, and they got they got a lot of picnic tables and barbecue pits that you can just come on down here and barbecue, have a good time. There's a lot of people that come down to this park, and sometimes during the week. Right now it's not too heavily populated, but a lot of times this park is pretty full, especially like in Easter and those holiday seasons. You know, the park gets pretty packed here. That people stay overnight 3-4 days ahead of time. So, but yeah, they have trails in there that you can go in there and ride your bike or jog, walk, bring your dog for a walk. And here's a train track right there that the little train goes all the way around the park, and I'm gonna try to go that route just so that you can see. You can see there's a crossing right there for the little train. It goes to the right that way. I'm going to go this way here. This is Avenue B Street right here. It's on the outskirts right before Broadway over here, but this is the outskirts of the park. Got the San Antonio River down there. Little train goes inside that canopy of brush there. On this side over here, there used to be a real famous bookstore right here on the left-hand side. And back in the days before cell phones, before computers, I was a big education person, you know. I liked learning stuff, so I'd always go to the library or go to bookstores. And that's a bookstore I used to go to there. And I also like collecting records, and they always had a big supply of records there, that, you know, LPs that you can buy, 45s, cassettes. Last time I came over here, I forgot to mention here, right in that area where people are playing over there, I guess it's like some type of tennis, but more like for the ping pong paddle type of thing. But that used to be the old kiddie park there. That's where all my kids had their birthday parties there. Well, I say all my kids, I had 3 kids, but mainly the first one and the second one got their parties there. They had it was an amusement park where they had a little roller coaster on this side and a bunch of rides for the kids, you know. And so I wanted to mention that because I didn't mention that the last time. But I also noticed they have a Go Vegan. I don't know where that's at, but it might be open in there, that little trailer there. But I don't know. I'm actually a vegan, but I don't usually eat at vegan restaurants because I'm kind of like a strict vegan. And even though I am a vegan, some of these vegan restaurants, they still use oil and sugar and stuff, so I don't eat oil and sugar, and I still haven't kicked the salt all the way, but I've kicked a lot of it. Across the street over there is I believe it's called Lions Park, but it's right across the street from Backenridge Park, and it's a good place if you want to bring your kids or your grandkids. Like I used to brought all my grandkids there. They're all already, I believe the oldest one is 12 or 13 years old. And got 5 grandkids that have come to that park. Across the street over here is the golf course right across the street from Backenridge Park. I believe it's an 18-hole golf course. It's always full. It's a beautiful, beautiful golf course. And the park is over there across the street. There's a little train track right there that's going along the edge there. And it goes all the way around the park. Every time I bring my grandkids over there, they want to get on that train. But when you got 5 grandkids and you're on Social Security, it can get a little expensive. But I always end up letting them get on it. It's nothing more fun than seeing your grandkids have a good time. I'm gonna cross the street here. There's a little train track right there. I remember back in 1970 when I used to cross this little bridge here. Me and my cousins used to come over here on the bus, and I was fascinated with this little bridge there. I guess I was around about 12 years old, maybe 13 years old. And there's a driving range that they have here in Backenridge Park. Got a putting range and then a driving range. You can see the gentleman over there hitting some balls. My Uncle Bob had an uncle, his name was Bobby Strada, and he used to take me here when I was a kid. When I first got here from LA, he used to bring me here. I wanted to show you something else, that right across the street here, right in that area right there, there used to be horses here. They used to have horses here, and they used to rent horses. I believe it was like $7 back in the 70s to ride a horse for an hour. And I don't know how, but I got on one of those horses one time and went through Backenridge Park. And I want to say that was probably the most funnest I've ever had. I just had a lot of fun riding that horse. I think that if I was able to, I would ride another horse again. I had a lot of fun. This place here is the Bombay Bicycle Club. And I've never gone in there, but they just built another one downtown San Antonio. And I believe it's, like a hamburger and French fry place, onion rings and a lot of beer. This is pretty much the surrounded area of the park. So I'm kind of going, the way the little train goes. And those trees right there, those oaks, have been there forever, since in the 70s when I used to come over here. I remember we used to sit under that tree, or those trees, me and my cousins. Here's another famous place right here called the Barbed Wire Smokehouse. Has a big old pig on top of it. And they sell barbecue there, and I believe they might have some other menus, but and over here on the left, the parking that they got there back in the 70s, I believe it was like 1973, 74. There's an amphitheater in there, and we used to go to concerts there, and a lot of big bands used to play there. Van Halen and Black Oak, Arkansas, and Black Sabbath, and all these 70s heavy metal rock bands used to play in there. I think I'm going to go over there just to show you guys a little bit. See, there's the parking lot over there. Everybody used to park on that side, and then everybody would climb up here, up this hill here. Over here on the right, we have the Japanese tea garden. Anyway, it doesn't look like they let anybody in there, but that was the entrance right there to the amphitheater, and over here to the right, it's like a sunken into the canyon, and all you can see is all these type of rocks, you know, that it's made out of the little mountain there, and the amphitheater is right on it. Oh my God, this car just backed up into the gate here. It looks like he just backed up into the gate, but that's the Japanese tea garden. They got a lot of beautiful flowers in there, plants and stuff, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna wait until wait for another time to come over here to show off that, make another video on this Japanese tea garden. Oh, it's saying not to enter here, so I guess we can't go in there. But you can see it's real beautiful here. Just going to give you a little glimpse of what's in there. You can see all the beautiful flowers here. I'm going to make a separate video on this garden, Japanese tea garden, but just wanted you to get a little glimpse of what you... This is open to the public, it's free. You can come over here, and they normally have a lot of koi in there, in this pond, but Looks like it's a little dirty. Maybe they put them away now, but you can see all the beautiful plants here in the garden. I'm not going to go in there because I don't think it's a good idea to go in there with my bike. I adjusted the brakes on this bike. I just got some brand new brakes. I adjusted the brakes on it and it's still squeaking. I even cleaned it out and everything. I believe this is the quarry part of this Sunken Gardens area. I think it was a quarry where they would take out limestone and use it to build the homes all the way around the area here back in the days. And supposedly the story is that a Japanese family, after it was already closed from the quarry, a Japanese family moved in here and took over the and I believe he's the one that built all this stuff out here with all the stones and everything. I believe that I know they lived here on the property for many years, like 20 something years, you know. And so, and here's the top part up there. When you go up there, you can go, you know, all up in there. It's a real place. It's a real nice place to come and visit, you know, with you and your family. But there's Backenridge Park over there, and you can see the little train over there. You see him going on. He's almost coming back already to the back to the place where they pick you up at. But I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of that sunken, we call it Sunken Gardens. We've always called it Sunken Gardens, but it says Japanese tea garden out there. And I don't know whether they changed the name on it or it's always been the Japanese tea garden. And we just used to call it Sunken Gardens. But if I'm not mistaken, I think it might have been called Sunken Gardens. I was born in Dallas, Texas, but moved to LA with my family when I was just a kid. I guess I was around 5 years old. And lived out there till I was 12 years old. And then we came back over here. My dad hurt himself and we came back over here. And he was a butcher. He hurt himself and he got a settlement and we came back to San Antonio. My mom and my dad are originally from here, from San Antonio, so but it was kind of a difficult situation for me because it was when I first got here, took a while for us to get here. I think it takes something like 20 something hours or something. And there's the little place right there where you pay to get into the little train ride. And it's you can buy souvenirs in there, and they got a restaurant right there in the front that also you can buy snacks and drinks and stuff. But that's the old little train that we used to have. They got a newer one now.
¿Dónde está este? ¿Qué trae el otro camino?
But that's the zoo over there, the San Antonio Zoo. That old town trolley bus there kind of reminds me of those buses in England, double stack. But that's the zoo right there. But back in the 70s, when we used to come here, they used to have what do you call those sky rides, that you can go to the zoo and then catch that little sky ride right there, and it was up on the top over there on cables, and you were able to go all the way up to Sunken Gardens or the Japanese tea garden. And you can buy the ticket at the zoo and get on it and go all the way to Sunken Gardens, or go from Sunken Gardens all the way to the zoo.
That way we don't waste time, right?
But they just built this whole little new area here in front of the zoo, which is pretty cool. It's really nice. It's all concreted and got all the plants and everything. And you can sit down here and relax, get some water and stuff. Matter of fact, I think that's what I'm going to do, is get some water. I'm not mentioning a lot of plants today because I'm mainly focusing on showing you all the park. And so I'm not really mentioning a lot of plants, but here's another one of them famous plants that we have here in San Antonio, Turk's Cap. And some ornamental grass right there. And they have the Salvia Greggi. And of course the Texas pecan trees, the yellow esperanzas, the periwinkles all on the edge there, purple fountain grass, rosemary. And then all the limestone construction there. It's pretty cool. Love the pecans. Gotta love the pecan trees. And there's the San Antonio Zoo. I actually haven't gone to the zoo in a very, very long time. They just recently remodeled the whole thing. I guess a few years ago now. But it's supposedly real beautiful in there now. I mean it's always been beautiful, but I mean I think they beautified it even more. This place here, these are the rides that they used to have on the other side that I mentioned a little while ago when I was first on the outskirts of Backenridge Park. It's called Kiddie Park, and these are the rides that they used to have back when I was a kid. I mean, back when I used to bring my kids over here. But you can see they have those little trains, and then they have the little horses right there, and then they got the little helicopters. And then, of course, they got the merry-go-round in the background over there. And they got picnic tables and everything. And here's the little airplanes with the machine guns on them. And, of course, they got the Ferris wheel over there. The Ferris wheel. You might want to look on the internet, see how much the tickets are. I don't know how much they are. I guess I could have checked for you guys, but I guess it's probably better. I don't know if they change them often or not, but might want to look that up online. And of course, they have some pavilions there that I believe you can rent these pavilions. They normally have like private parties there, so I believe you can rent them. You can see they're having a big party over there. They rent the pavilions, and then they got the restroom facilities right next to it, right there, which is convenient, right next to the pavilions that you rent. On the left hand here, they got a San Antonio Zoo education, and I believe they have students that come over here, from school, and they educate them there about the animals in the zoo. And in this little area right here, they used to have sleepovers where you were able to come with your kid and sleep there overnight in a tent. Where you had to bring your own tents, and your own things. But you had a very secure place, to be able to, for those of you that weren't able to, were scared or maybe didn't want to take that first jump into camping, you can bring your kids there and camp out and see how you liked it, see how they liked it as well. But I'm missing out on this area over here, which is the river in Backenridge Park. And I'm parked right on the other side here. This is where I always park, on that other side over there. But as you can see, there's some people fishing over there. I think they had said a while back that they stocked it with bass and perch. This was years ago, so I don't know. I have never really asked people if they've caught anything there or not, but I remember when we used to come, it was back in the 70s, and we used to catch perch in there, big old perches. And yeah, so I know they had drained the water out of it for a while there. And let's see, I wanted to check this phone here. Yeah, it's still on. My videos are usually a little long. They're normally about an hour long, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because I don't want people to nod off, so I'm just kind of experimenting with the time and see if because I'd rather do films of my whole cruise, and let you see where I went, and let you see the park. And today, let you see the area that I'm cruising through. There's the zoo right in this side. That's part of the zoo, the back part of the zoo. I believe they used to have the seals over here. And in there, it's like, in there they used to have the butterfly. I think it is a butterfly place in there where you go in there, just a bunch of different monarch butterflies and different types of butterflies all over. It's really cool. This little area here, I really don't know what this is. It looks like a adventure type of place, where the kids, I know I bring my grandkids here and we go in there and just, they have like tunnels and stuff like that, but I don't know exactly what it was built for or what it was made for. So if not, I would let you know. But mainly people come in there and they get in there and all the kids go crazy in there, trying to hide and trying to, come out at the other side. And my grandkids love going in there and messing around there. I know when I was a kid, I used to love going in there too. Me and my cousins, like I said, we used to come over here from the west side of San Antonio. We used to catch the bus. The bus was 10 cents back then. And we used to catch the bus with a transfer and come down here and go to Brack. Of course, we walked everywhere, we had to walk everywhere. Our parents were always too busy because they were visiting their own relatives. So, but this little area here, I don't know if you saw a bunch of bikes or motorcycles. I'll come back on the way, but that's always been the motorcycle place there. Like, that's where all the people the guys, people that ride. Here's a baseball field over there. But the park actually goes all the way on that side over there. This street here ends on Hildebrand, I believe it is. So that's pretty much the river. There's a river down there that goes all the way through Brack. Look at this lowrider right here. That's nice, huh? Meet Lane, Latin World, San Antonio. Man, that's a nice. Look at the bumper on that thing. The top part of it. Look at the top part of that. Man, that's a beautiful paint job. Of course, it has the hydraulics on it, and the light there, spotlight. Has some beautiful rims on it. Old school, man. Beautiful head. The hood on that thing. Chevy. I don't know what year it is. It looks like maybe a 65 maybe. I had a cousin that had a Chevy Impala like that back in the 60s. But see, this area right here is where all the bikes hang out right here. And back in the 70s, and everybody would be cruising down these streets here in their cruisers. Back then they had a lot of hot rods. And so you can see there's some bikers here in this area. But back in the days, everybody was showing off their cars, their cruisers. And mainly it was hot rods, Novas and Corvettes. And they had the old school stereos, analog, the best sounding stereos, man. Analog, no digital. And forgot to show this other, but anyway, right here is the area. Also, they have the restrooms there, and I believe they have an office there for the park rangers and stuff. But there's another cruiser over there. That looks like a is that a 50s or 40s? And I wanted to show you all this little area here because I used to come over here with my grandkids, and they used to love coming over here. But they've closed it down. They've closed this area down. It used to be I mean, this is where the main hangout was for everybody here in the park. And I'm very disappointed with whoever is in charge of getting this playground up and going, because it's been closed for years already. And it's very aggravating to see something like this that is the heart of the park, because everybody, I mean, I brought all my grandkids here, starting with the oldest one that just graduated actually from Clark High School, Farah. I mean, she fell off one of these little. She was real thin, paper thin, and she just flew through one of the. She wasn't too high up, you know, but I remember her crying. I think she was around 3 years old. And but yeah, I wish whoever's in charge of this, and maybe if they see this video, they can get on get on it and start fixing this thing up, you know, and getting this thing running, because there's a lot of good memories that are being lost, you know, because this little jungle gym, as small as it might seem, this is where everybody gravitates to right here. Everybody brings their kids here, their grandmas, their grandpas. Everybody's here messing with their grandkids and their kids. And it's just sad to see this thing closed for this long. It just doesn't make no sense at all, you know. So hopefully whoever's in charge of that can get on it and start getting that thing open. This is a real famous pavilion right next to it, right here, called the Joski's Pavilion. And I mean, it's been there forever since the park. And everybody, I remember we used to go in there and just relax and get out of the sun back in the 70s, you know, and drink some water. They have a water fountain over there. And so, look at all the duckies. Yeah, so it's just sad. Here's the San Antonio River. And this one goes right near the Whitty Museum over there that we just came when I first started. It goes all the way over there. And you can see a lot of people are barbecuing today. It's Sunday, and this is what this park is all about. Family, memories, and a lot of good times. This area right here was actually closed down because they had these white birds that had invaded this area. And I'm talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of birds all in this area right here. They were these big crane-looking birds. I believe you've seen them. They're kind of like, they go in the water and they have these skinny legs, and this was their home right here. You know, this is where they used to live. This whole area right there, I don't know if you can see it, but this whole area right here, they were all up in the trees, and this whole area right here was all bird droppings on the ground everywhere. I mean, I'm talking the picnic tables, sidewalks, and you know, they had done all this construction here in the park, and everything was covered with bird poop, you know. So the people weren't able to use this area, you know, so I guess they decided to move the birds. And that little area that I showed you a while back over there, where I told you that I didn't know exactly what that place was, that it was more like where, you know, you go in there and just hide, and you know, kids would love to go in there. Well, they moved them over there. All the birds went, I don't know how they do it, but they got rid of all the birds here and moved them over there to that other side. And so because that area was not, you know, used as much, only the kids used to go in there, and, you know, the occasional person like me with my grandkids and go in there and play around with my grandkids. But not like this area here. They had just did all the construction with all the sidewalks and everything was real beautiful, but nobody was able to utilize the space because of the birds. So like I said, I don't know how they did it, but they got rid of the birds, and then the birds went over there to that area, and then now they got rid of the birds over there, and I don't know how they did it. But they got rid of all the birds. Out of those white birds, they just got rid of them. So now they have this area. Now you can come over here and picnic. I wonder what happened to those birds, or how they did it to get rid of them. But it was sad in a way, because they want to. This was their spot. They love to be in this park. And I think they're water birds. I think they're those kind of birds that have those long skinny legs that you always see them sticking out of the water. They're not ducks. I don't really know the name of those birds, but they're big birds. White feathered birds. And yeah. So anyway, that's pretty much it with the park. I pretty much showed you everything in the park. So come on down here and enjoy this park. This is the Backenridge Park in San Antonio, Texas. And I'm going to stop here to before I let you guys go. I want to show you guys what I was cruising in today. Was my Trek 730 multi-track again. Love this bike. So okay, YouTubers, this is Alfred, the Central Texas Cruiser, casting off today. I hope you enjoyed the cruise, and hope you didn't mind too much me sharing all this information with you guys. And I hope to see you back on my channel, and make sure to like and subscribe if you like my videos, and hopefully I'll see you back again on my channel. Hasta la vista, amigos. Until next time.